It's very wacky here outside of Philadelphia right now on this May the 24th of 2022. 2 days ago it was 100 degrees and now it's 61 degrees. That's, I don't know what the hell's going on. But welcome. We're going to jump right into things and hear from Top Rank on ESPN broadcast for the WBO interim title between Janjabek Alimhanallah. There you go. I believe I finally pronounced his name right. He took on Danny Dignam, knocked him out in 2 rounds to win the WBO interim title at 160. But on that show, in an earlier segment, as you can see, I've pulled up here on the screen, they have the trainer and father of WBC lightweight 100 and 35-pound champion. No, he's no longer interim. He is the WBC champion, but we're going to talk about it later on in the video. It's very confusing with the WBC. But anyway, the father of Devin Haney, we're going to listen to him, and we're going to talk about the fight. So now we have 11 days left until June the 4th, where Devin Haney and George Kambosos are going to be fighting for full undisputed. That's even a unification of the WBC regular and the WBC franchise championship. So take your time out, like the video, subscribe, and teach me controversy, and listen to this. This was a few days ago on Top Rank on ESPN, the latest developments on what's going on with Bill Haney. I'm going to let Mark Kriegel of ESPN and Bill Haney give you the details, and we're going to talk about it after that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
For being here, I want to catch up the non-boxing audience, what the fans might already know. You were denied a visa to Australia this week on a 30-year-old drug conviction. You finished your time long before Devin was born. You've been in his corner his whole career. Now he's on the other side of the world. It's hardest for dads to let go in this business. Why were you able to?
Well, it's two things that happens. Devin gets better when he faces adversity. This was a 1992 conviction. It was well before he was born. But I think that this is now going to propel Devin to bring out the best in Devin. It was hard to let him go, though.
He's gifted. He's strong. But at some level, he's still your baby boy. What's this been like for you?
Well, I would say that it's just like sending away your kid the way to go to college, but that wouldn't be true. It's a little bit more than that. But when it comes to sending away your kid to go to war, then it's not quite as extensive as that. So, but it's a whirlwind of emotions that we've been going through as a father and son and as a trainer and a fighter. But, we plan to overcome this adversity like we have with every time before.
What did you all tell each other before he got on that plane?
Devin said that he assured me that he was going to go and he was going to bring back the belts. And it wasn't going to be any problem.
Now, he's not quite alone. You sent him with Yoel Judah, father of the great Zab Judah. Describe your relationship and Devin's relationship with the Judahs over the years.
It's always been a great relationship. Zab is Devin's godfather. He went to church and their union and their relationship was blessed in front of God. And Yoel has been like a grandfather. Has been like a father figure to me, both in this boxing game, in the way that we approach life. And being 100% behind our son. So I knew that Yoel was going to be the perfect guy to go to war.
Does it help you knowing that Yoel has been in the fire, too, before in the corner?
Oh, absolutely. I know that Yoel is not going to shy away from that moment. That moment is not going to intimidate him, and he'll be ready to go and ready to deliver any message needed to Devin.
How are you guys going to communicate on fight night? I know there's an iPad set up for the dressing room, but can you speak to him in the corner?
I'm optimistic about maybe even me eventually being able to go out there. It's still up in the air. I haven't been totally denied, but in the event that I'm not able to be there, there's been some suggestions on what way I can talk to him in the corner. But he'll be ready, and that's the main thing is the fighter being ready.
Hey, Bill, I really appreciate you being here. Joe, back to you.
All right, Big J, what did you think about that? So, the father, 30-year-old drug conviction. Devin Haney is 23 years old. And as his father has put it, it's not like sending his kid off to college, he's sending him off to go to war. Yoel Judah, the father of Zab Judah, is going to be in the corner, and it is not officially denied yet. Now, I've looked at some reports online, and as it stands right now, there still is a chance. We're 11 days away from the fight. Maybe he'll be able to get something 0 hour. I'm guessing, that Top Rank, a very powerful promotional organization. Bob Arum himself, take boxing out of it. We have to tell it like it is. Bob Arum overall in the world is, he has some stroke. To put it in the words of Jeff Jarrett, he has been, known to be able to move the needle and get some things done. But as it stands right now, he's not going to be in his son's corner. And yes, that obviously is going to take, play its toll. But I do feel that because I'm so confident, and this is what we're going to talk about later on in the video, because I have Devin Haney defeating George Kambosos, to where my colleague, Big Jug on the line, he can't understand why George Kambosos is an underdog. But regardless, I can't wait to see the fight 11 days away. So what did you think about what Bill had to say and about his drug conviction? And for fans of the fighters and viewers and supporters, let's talk about the Australian issue regarding them not, wanting to let, convicted felons in. From Floyd Mayweather to Mike Tyson. And now, as you can see, despite it being 30 years old, a non-violent, offense, drug offense, whatever the case may be, still he's having some issues. So your thoughts?
Well, I mean, as a former Australian soldier, I do back the decision made by the Immigration Department of Australia. I back the government's decision, but that doesn't mean I don't think it's complete fucking bullshit. Just because I stand by it doesn't mean I agree. I agree with it. I think that's ridiculous. But having said that, if you've got a criminal conviction, something like that, the Australian government really doesn't fuck around with those sort of things. A little bit off topic, but when what's his name? Novak Djokovic come to get in here, he wasn't vaccinated. They locked him up for a week and a half and then told him to piss off home. So. Yeah, when it comes to immigration, the Australian government is pretty, they don't really allow things to go awry. They're pretty set in their ways, and that's it. But having said that, that was 30 years ago. I think that's pretty, unfair that someone like that could follow you around for that long. But then again, the Australian Immigration Department's made their decision. I don't think anyone's going to be able to have an influence over that. Maybe they might work in their favour. We just had a federal government where the change of balance of power has been changed. So now the Labor Party's in. They're similar to the Democrats over your way. So maybe a new Minister of Immigration might be appointed in the next few days, and he might make a different ruling. Who knows? But I'm not confident he's going to get into the country. So not by the time of the fight anyway. So
and it's looking like from their side, it's looking like, they don't seem, just the tone of that interview, they don't really seem too confident either, because they're already setting up, which is, smart, the wise thing to do. Other options so he can be there without being there, as regarding to video or audio in the corner of Devin Haney. But then there's still going to be some type of delay. Like, I don't get that part, so, for example, with a broadcast like that, you would think that there would be some type of delay where, I don't know, technology is crazy these days, but it's hard for me to see Devin Haney being in the corner in between rounds and him and his father being to speak to him right then and there, even though we're doing it. But overall, like, I don't know. It seems kind of, I don't know. It's kind of iffy. Anything can go wrong there, because it would be a live feed.
Well, maybe a FaceTime call or a Zoom call is probably the only thing they could hope for. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think that is going to be a massive impact on Devin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his father and his main supporter is not going to be there. I don't give a rat's ass who you are. That sort of thing plays on your mind.
Yeah,
and that's a massive. Not that George didn't already have enough advantages. That's another massive advantage in his corner, because I guarantee his dad will be standing 6 feet from him.
Yeah.
So I mean, who else wasn't allowed in? Was it just his father, or was there some other one that wasn't allowed in either?
I believe it was someone else. I couldn't find it. I remember I remember reading two people. Somewhere.
Yeah,
I
I
couldn't
thought there
find
was
the
two
clip.
people.
I believe it was the father and an assistant trainer. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like two major players of the
Yeah.
camp haven't come to this fight. I mean, that is a massive disadvantage for Haney. Not that he already didn't have enough disadvantages, traveling halfway across the world.
Yeah.
You know, he's fighting in Kambosos' backyard. You know, there's going to be 40-something thousand plus people, you know, wanting the Australian to kick his head in. So
when did Devin get there again? Was that last Friday? Was it was the 18th or the 19th, right?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep, something like that. He arrived at 6 a.m. I know that much.
Yeah,
I
so
think it was
at the
Friday
point-
morning, 6 a.m.
Yeah, at the point of this video, he's been there for about 4 or 5 days, give or take.
Yeah, about that.
4. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
all
that.
right. All right, so he's there now, getting acclimated to the climate and of course the huge difference in time zones. Where is he training from what you've heard?
Team Ellis Gym.
Okay.
So there's been a few Facebook posts. Team Ellis Gym, which is I think somewhere in North Melbourne, one of the suburbs of North Melbourne. Not
Okay.
100% sure. I should have looked it up. But yeah, he's training at Team Ellis Gym, and the climate is going to be a massive shock because, as I said, it is fucking freezing over here. Like even with a sun blasting, a nice sunny day, it's like 15 degrees, which is what's 15 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit? I don't bloody know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
Fucking
I'm gonna look
cold.
it up real quick. But in context, Devin Haney is coming from the desert, Las Vegas, Nevada, 100-degree days.
And he's coming to Melbourne, which is the coldest part of the mainland. The only place colder than Melbourne's bloody Tasmania.
Yeah, so
So,
he's going from 100-degree days, which it would be right now in Las Vegas. For example, as I said at the beginning of the video, we had some pretty wacky weather here in Philadelphia, and we have a pretty neutral, temperature. I forgot the term, but basically our temperature, we live all 4 seasons. So for us to get 100-degree days, it's not out of the realm, but yes, we do get them. But in the case of Devin Haney, he's coming from the desert, going over to 15 degrees Celsius, which is 60 degrees. So that's enough right there to be able to catch a cold. So I'm sure. And then from my understanding, he's never been to Australia. So now he's over there by himself without his father, without, who else was in his corner. And he has to, be a man and go to war.
yeah, I hate it when boxers say that. God, that annoys me.
What?
They're not soldiers. They don't know what war's like.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope they never do know, but I hate it when they say that. They're going to compete in a fight. It's not a war. It's a fight.
Yeah, okay.
But that's just me because I've been a soldier. So anyway, moving on.
So,
Undercard.
Yeah. Well, I have the undercard pulled up right here, right now. Just to go through the fights that are going to be on the main pay-per-view portion. It is going to be obviously Kambosos Haney is the main event. Jason Moloney's taking on Aston Palicte for the WBC silver title. You have Junior Fa taking on Lucas Browne, and you said Terry Nicholas and what is it, Lachlan Higgins? They're opening up the card.
Yeah, I think Lachlan. Is it Lachlan or Lachlan?
There you go, Lachlan Higgins.
Hang
There.
on, let me have a look.
But this Lachlan Higgins, is he not related?
Yeah,
to,
look.
Is he not related to David Higgins, the promoter of Duco events?
Cannot confirm nor deny. No idea.
Yeah, I'm looking because I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Duco events. If you don't know, the head promoter is David Higgins. Also, he's well known for his banter in the build up to Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker. So that's why I'm looking at the name. Like, wait a minute. Is this how is it coming from a boxing family? But yeah, that's the pay-per-view undercard over on Main Event, which is the main pay-per-view platform over in Australia. And it's going to be $59.95 starting on June the what? It's a Monday fight for you guys?
Sunday
okay, I'm
fight.
looking at my bad. I'm looking at it right
fight?
now. I mean, it says the replay is going to be on the 5th and okay, I got you. And the 6th.
Yeah,
But June the 5th, the card's going to start at 11 a.m. For you guys
kick
over
off
in
at 11.
Australia. Over here in the States, it's going to be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have a top rank on ESPN Plus here. You can watch on regular ESPN or ESPN Plus if you have the ESPN Plus package. Now, as far as the undercard, I got to be honest. Now, for hardcore boxing degenerate fans, I'm going to tell you the fight that sticks out to me. Junior Fa taking on Lucas Browne. You remember Junior Fa from taking on Joseph Parker. Was that Joseph Parker's last fight? Has Joseph Parker been off that long? Let me check real quick. I don't think
he's had a bit of a layoff.
Yeah, it was last February.
Didn't he fight?
He fought. Okay, so wait a minute. So, and I can't believe this is shocking to me, even though I covered these fights. He had 3 fights, 3 tough fights meaning Joseph Parker, to get off track a little bit, in 2021. For Junior Fa in February 2021. That May of 2021, he fought Chisora. Then he fought him again December of 2021. That's 3 fights. Okay, but Junior Fa has been off since then. The only defeat on his record, 19-1 with 10 KOs, was against Joseph Parker. And that right there is a 15-month layoff. Now, going in against Lucas Browne, to be honest, I don't rate Lucas Browne very highly. How old is Lucas Browne? Let me check really quickly. 43 years old, 30-3 with 26 KOs. You know, he got that championship. He is, no matter how you slice it, even though it was an underling title, he still was a WBA champion. And that WBA title has been cursed ever since. But that was back in, let me see, 2016. Damn, that was a long time ago. I covered that fight when he fought Ruslan Chagiev.
And he was like 36 when that happened.
Yeah, he was stripped because of a drug testing issue. I remember that. And they went to go give Ruslan Chagiev the belt back. And he was like, nah, fuck off. I'm retired. I remember that happened.
Yeah.
And
there was all sorts of...
Go ahead.
All sorts of bullshit. It was supposed to fight...
Dempsey McKean, right?
Shit. What's his name? Sorry?
Didn't you say Lucas Browne was supposed to fight Dempsey McKean?
Yeah, that was in March of 2020. What's the name of that bloke? That followed Klitschko around like a bad smell for a while. Was going to fight Tyson in a bare-fisted fight. What's his name? Shannon something? Briggsy.
Shannon Briggs.
He was supposed to fight Shannon Briggs there at one point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that didn't eventuate. That was after the Russian bloke's controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, things have been a roller coaster ride for Lucas Browne. I mean,
yeah, he got knocked out by Dylan White a couple of years later, in 2018. You know, that was on HBO.
Dave Allen whacked him in the guts, knocked him out in 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And most embarrassingly of all, Paul Gallen knocked the shit out of him in the round.
And like fans, you like to point out a footballer and NRL player. You know, you can't
retired NRL player.
You can't just say footballer, because I've noticed in the comments fans get, he's not just a footballer, mate. You know, yeah. So yes, but either way, but either way, he was knocked out in 1 round by Paul Gallen, and then for Opalu, that was in December of last year, and now here he is, back on pay-per-view, on a pay-per-view card, and you have to only think because his name is somewhat known. You know, because why else, you know, they've picked him. And before we get, you know, like to the rest of the undercard, they put him on the undercard before Andrew Moloney. Andrew Moloney, right now, Andrew Moloney here in the States, his fight, and it's not confirmed yet, will be on ESPN Plus. So what we've learned is that Kambosos Haney, after the main event, there's going to be what's called walkout bouts, where there's going to be fights going on after the main event. And they put Andrew Moloney versus Alexander Espinoza on that. So over in Australia, he's not going to be televised. So, like, what's going on there? It doesn't make any sense.
I got nothing. I got no rhyme or reason why they would do that. They're absolutely. I don't think that's ever happened. I'm pretty sure that's never happened in a main event card before. Once the main event's over, that's it. Pack up, piss off, go home. So I don't. That's got to be a top-rank ESPN thing, because I don't believe that's ever happened on a main event card ever. I could be wrong. If someone can, tell me otherwise, which I'm pretty confident I'm not wrong, because we've watched enough cards to know that after a main event, they've got old mate talking to the broadcast team, whoever it is, whether it's Gallen or Tim Zoo or You know, way
Correct.
back when Mundine, they're sitting there on the bloody table talking to each other.
Yeah,
So there's no other
and
fight
you have
going
the
on.
fighters from the main event and the undercard. They're in the back getting their physicals and their post-fight drug testing and getting ready for the post-fight press conference. And then meanwhile, fans are walking out of the arena.
Yeah.
You're going to see,
they'll be
you're
either
going to
going
be
to
seeing
the
fans getting up and walking out during Andrew's fight.
and then the press, the media will be going to the post-fight press conference.
Correct. So what did he do? You know, or like this situation, like, is his contract up though? So for example, was he supposed to win? You know, was his contract based on, hey, listen, you gotta, you know, win against Joshua Franco, you know, or if you don't, we don't renew your TV contract? Because basically after the Joshua Franco fight, that was in August of last year, he's fought 2 fights. One against Froylan Suladar. That was
in December of last year.
And then he fought in April, last month, against a Gilberto Mendoza.
He did on the Michaela Mir undercard.
But now,
but his brother also fought. His brother also fought on that card as well.
But his brother Jason is televised. Like, it doesn't, you know, like, I'm confused, and maybe, you know, they didn't have the budget. They said maybe, okay, listen, Andrew, you want to be on the card, it's history with your brother, but we really don't have the money to pay you, and we can't give you any TV money, so we'll put you, like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Something, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah. But overall, looking at the undercard, it's not, you know, I can't say that it's not going to be entertaining because, I mean, you know, with the heavyweight fight, you're going to get a knockout. And let me tell you something, this Aston Palicte is good. He's no slouch.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they have so many undercard fights. I mean, how many fights? It's like 10 or is it 10 or what?
It looks like at least 10. It looks more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights.
That's a shitload of fights. I mean, that's a big card even for a main event card. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah, it seems as though, you know, because it's undisputed, everyone wants to be involved in an event. So you probably got promoters and managers just begging to be on the card. You know, like, listen, put my fight on here to give them this exposure because you have a lot of you have 3 debuts, and you have, you know, just on the undercard alone, 3 debuts, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 3 undefeated fighters. So that's 6 undefeated fighters, 3 debuts, and then 3. You know, so these are just fighters to me that just want to be on the card.
As I said, I mean, every man and his dog would want to get on that card. So for the exposure, because, you know, there'll be, at least 4, if not 5, undercard fights showing on Fox Sports before the main event kicks off. So, actually, I think someone told me that I think the first fight might start at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Get 3 or 4 fights out of the way, and then the main card will kick off at 11. So there's 2 hours there to slot in what? Well, they'll slot in at least probably 5 fights because none of them are going very long. What's the longest undercard fight? About 10 rounds? But that would be on the actual main card. What are those undercard fights? Like 6 rounds like that?
Even Andrew's fight is an 8 round. But that's after. But yes, there's only 2 10-round fights, and that's Junior Fa and Moloney, and then Haney Kambosos, obviously 12. So the debuts are 4 rounds, and then you have 2 5 rounds, and then 2 6 rounds, 2 8 rounds, 1 and 2 10 rounds.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I'd say that Isaiah Sete versus Luke Gabesic. I have no idea who these guys are. I have no idea who these people are. Hussein Fahad versus Tom Pugh.
Yeah, don't even try it. Don't even, because that
got against that individual.
Yeah.
Sorry, stuffing your name up, mate. Then we've got the welterweight fight. I dare say that will be on Fox Sports. The Taylor Robinson fight will definitely be on Fox Sports. She's fought on Fox Sports. I'm pretty sure she's fought on Fox Sports before.
And what's Fox Sports? Fox Sports is usually 3 or is it 4 fights on that broadcast?
Normally it's only 2 because normally they have 1 or 2, possibly 3.
Okay.
Because they normally on a main event card they'll kick off at 6 o'clock at night for the untelevised fights, you know, the under prelims or whatever you want to call them, and then 7 o'clock that's when the main card will kick off.
Okay.
So it's only an hour, so you can only fit in 2 or 3 fights max.
Okay.
So, yeah, I dare say in that 2-hour period, they could put a lot of fights on, probably 5. So, and they'll chuck Andrew on one more, Leon, after the main event's done and dusted.
So, since we're short on time, we got 5 minutes left. We got to get into the predictions. I've told, you and you've talked about it, before regarding to the bookies, but I have Devin Haney by decision, not by knockout. George is tough. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for Devin, but I do feel that, Devin, everything that he's done, despite not getting the stoppages and shining when he should, for example, he was supposed to knock out Gamboa. He was supposed to knock out Jorge Linares. And then Jojo Diaz, I expected for that to go to decision, but overall, he's been winning, but he hasn't been shining, which is one of the reasons why, he's now on ESPN. But I feel that, George is tough. George did beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, is no secret, had some issues in and outside the ring. I'm not trying to take away anything from George, but we have to state the facts, okay? Now, George is tough. George did tell Teofimo exactly what he was going to do to him. We can't take that away. When we do our fight week preview, I'm going to make sure I pull up that clip from the final press conference of Haney Kambosos, where he told, Teofimo Lopez Kambosos, where he predicted exactly what he was going to do. But in this case, I just think that, Devin Haney, if he just sticks to boxing, he'll be able to box circles around George Kambosos. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I'm still maintaining that a 9th round TKO.
Wow. So you predicted
is the way. That's the one. That's what I'm predicting, a 9th round TKO. Most likely a ref stoppage. I don't think it's going to be a clean knockout. I think the ref will stop
That's
it.
That's a big prediction.
Yeah, I've been saying that since day dot. So, and the funny thing is that the bookies have that at the best odds for George to win. If he's going to win, he's going to win in round 9 by TKO. It's got the best odds, or the smallest odds. Funnily enough, a draw is actually probably more likely than anything else, according to the bookies. But they've got George down at the George as the underdog. I mean, what is it? Hang on, let me have a look. Devin Haney's $1.56 on sportsbet.com.au. George is $2.41.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good odds for those gamblers out there, and I'm not a huge gambler, so that's pretty good odds for George, because I still can't justify how the hell they think that bloody George is the underdog. But anyway.
Yeah, and George is 20-0 with 10 KOs. Notable fights, notable wins. He's undefeated. Mickey Bay has really stepped on the scene. Lee Selby, and then of course the big one, Teofimo Lopez. And
obviously, Haney's got more title wins, but I think George has got the more credible wins, if that makes sense. I mean, George has only won one title fight, but I think his resume is more credible than what Haney's is, if that makes sense.
I mean, you think so? Off of what? The Teofimo fight? Because Devin Haney, he's got...
Well, the Teofimo fight, I mean, how many ex-champions has Haney beaten? Because he was given that title.
Yeah, and fans don't, and fans have been saying the same thing, the email champion,
He's well, I think he's an email champion, but he's held on to it. But then again, he's never defeated another champion.
Yeah.
He never defeated the champion to paper champion. Well, I call him the paper champ. Email's a bit out of touch for me, but anyway, paper champ. So he hasn't defeated a legit champion or a former champion. Has he beaten any former champions at all?
No.
George has beaten
Linares was a former champion, but he didn't have the belt. Gamboa and Linares were former champions, but they didn't have a belt when Devin Haney beat them. And basically, to be honest,
okay, that counts. That counts. Well, lightweight or different division.
And Linares were, old, if per se, long in the tooth, seasoned fighters. Shot.
Yeah, so was Mickey Bay when George beat him.
Yeah.
So, but they were former champions in different divisions or lightweight?
Different divisions. I'm pretty sure Linares was a champion in that division, but yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, that still counts. Mickey Bay was long in the tooth when George beat him. No, that counts. That counts. That absolutely counts. But George beat Lopez. So, and you've said, I'm pretty sure you said to me that you didn't believe that Haney could beat Lopez. Did you say that to me once?
No, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. I had Haney over Teofimo.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching Haney, even though he's been, disappointing in regarding to not stopping Gamboa or not stopping Linares. Still overall, like he's a good fighter when he boxes, but when he tries to be exciting and to put on the show, that's where things don't go right for him. And that's when he ended up getting cracked by Jorge Linares.
I think George will set the trap, try to get him into a show, and then bang.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. That's what I think he's going to do. I think George is going to pick his moment, set him up, get him into that dog fight, or try to put on a show, and boom, out comes that right hand, that overhand right, and Haney will be sitting on his bum. So,
well,
that's what I think is going to happen. So,
well, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're hoping we'll find out soon if Big J is going to be getting to the fight. But either way, we're going to be here next week covering the final press conference, a fight week preview, and the weigh-in, and of course the post-fight press conference. So, as it stands right now, I got Devin Haney. He's got George Kambosos. I'm going to rate the undercard a B-. But, let's face it, we're only there for the main event. And it's going to be fully undisputed, something that Teofimo Lopez, no dig to him, never was because of that WBC franchise situation. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really looking for, obviously the main event is the reason that we're going to the fight. Undercard, C+. I think it loses some points because Andrew's not on it. So, yeah, it's not a horrible undercard, but it could have been a lot better too. But I think there'll be some. I really think I got a gut feeling that the junior Far Lucas Browne might surprise people.
Yeah.
So that might be an interesting fight. I mean, it'll go one. Yeah, someone's definitely going to get knocked out. We might be surprised who it is. The rest of the undercard, yeah, Taylor Robinson, Terry Nichols, they're the only really ones I've got in there. But I'm chopping at the bit to get to this fight. If we can get our credentials, hopefully we'll find out.
We'll know sooner than later.
Yeah, and we can get to the fight and once for all plant the Fight View 360 flag in Australia. Yeah. So it can't be that.
All right. Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, guys, listen, we'll see you next week. The fight's 11 days away. We're going to be here providing you fight week content. And thanks for watching. Please take the time out, like the video, subscribe. Me and Big J's social media platforms are down below in the description box. Please subscribe and see you guys later.